So these are the parts we're going to discard: the clutch pack, the front bearing, the rotary lip seal, the front big seal, the lock nut, the filter kit, the pump, the rubberized plate for the ECU. We're going to replace all of that and we're going to build it all up with fresh gear. This is our rebuild kit. So it comes with a new clutch pack. So you've got your sintered discs and your stainless plates. We have a filter kit with a genuine Borg-Warner pump and a genuine Borg-Warner filter, that is. We don't use any knockoff kit. The sealing gasket kit and bolt kit for the control unit and the pump and everything. And then we also have a new rotary lip seal, which again is an OEM one, the main seal, a new bearing and a new lock nut. Then we're going to use the customer's original Haldex control unit and the valve that we've put through the cleaning machine, which that has completely cleaned out the orifice and spindle inside, so that now works properly. And the parts that we're going to use that are original are the drive bell, for starters, the spindle shaft with the bearing in the back, that's good, the star-spangled washer spring, the working piston assembly, the two main spreader plates for each end, the circlip for the bearing, the clutch basket, which is serviceable with a good bearing in the front, that's all reusable, and then the coupling, which we have cleaned out. We don't run them through any sort of chemical process. We don't put them through a cleaning machine because it just introduces solvent and water into the accumulator, which is not good. Then when you run them, you end up with water contaminated Haldex oil. So you are literally just better blowing out all of these orifices over and over again. Use 3 or 4 tanks of air on your air compressor, squirt a bit of WD-40 down the holes, wash them out. Pay close attention. Let's see if this camera will do us a better focus about here. Right, so this is where the filter fits. This surface has to be in really good condition because the O-ring sits on here. Now people often hammer screwdrivers up the side to force the filters out and they damage this borehole and it will leak afterwards. You need to make sure that this surface is good. Yeah, no debris in here. There's a hole here that needs blowing out, which goes to the valve orifice. That needs to be clean. All of these orifices need to be fully cleaned out. Galleries, we'll call them galleries. The pump housing, the oil feed here, which is how the piston actually pushes in and out. That actually goes straight through to the valve orifice there. So that all needs to be clean. And then what we'll do is we'll rebuild it. So let me just go and get a little pot of Haldex oil because we need to oil the seals as we build. Right then, the gloves are on. We've got a little pot of Haldex oil. So we always start with things that need to be kept clean the most. So we'll put the filter in first because that orifice needs to be clean. If you insert any debris into there, you will cause yourself problems. There's a little O-ring on the end of there. So lubricate that, pop that in. Same goes with the filter. Lubricate the seal. You know, if you want to shove something in a hole, you always make sure it's nice and lubricated. Right. So that gets us that in. Right, and then what we do is we put the valve in because that'll stop any debris from getting in there. And as you can see, that is a nice clean external, but more importantly it is clean inside. So I'll put the valve in again. this all needs to be super clean. Right, and it clicks in, so it won't just fall out for you. Now, it's a good idea at this stage to then put the working piston in with the Star Spangled washer. Again, there are two seals on here, so you've got the inner seal and the outer seal. Right, so that puts that part together. Now really, you can't get any debris inside there, apart from the pump housing. So what we do is, while we put the next part together, we always stuff a bit of something in there, a rubber glove. Yeah. Now we start on our bags of new parts. The first thing to go in is the bearing, the front bearing. Now there isn't a right side or a wrong side for these. They just drop in, and you need them to go in nice and square, and they will literally almost go all the way in for you if you get them right. Yeah, almost down there already. So I then knock them in with a socket. Alright, so that sends that all the way home. And now we need to put in the circlip of doom. Is there anything worse? When you've not got your proper tool, because someone borrowed it and didn't give it you back. Right, so that gets the circlip in. Now we have the front rotary lip seal, which again, we always put a little bit of oil on. We always put a little bit of oil on the front of the rotary lip seal. Right, so we put something that puts pressure on the outside of the seal, and then very, very carefully knock that home. Like that. So we just use this socket. It's not the best tool for the job, but it just puts the force on the outside edge so you don't distort it. Right then, so that puts the majority of our coupling back together. Now what we'll do is we'll concentrate on the clutch pack instead. So we need our pinion shaft. Yeah. So we put the spreader plate in first. You can always tell which side's been used the most because it's polished. So put that in. Now we need our friction plates and stainless plates. So what you do is you drop the spindle in the middle first, and you put in a friction plate, and then a stainless plate, then a friction plate, then a stainless plate, then a friction plate, and another one. Right, so that gets us a clutch pack all together. then we put our spreader plate back on. Again, we can see the polished side. So we'll put the polished side on. There's slight rounding on the side that goes upwards. So that gets us to there. Now we have to knock these pins in. What I do is I use a punch and a hammer, but I can't do it here, so I'm just going to do it off the camera a minute. So we've just knocked these in a little bit, so they just come over the lip. Right then, we're nearly there at that stage. So we can now slip our coupling assembly over the clutch pack. Alright, and if we give it a little that closes the gap for us. It will go more when we put the drive bell on. So now we can put a pump on. So we'll get our nice new pump out. Here's our pump. Right, that drops that in. There's a pair of new bolts that come with it. Right, so now we can put a dry flange on, and again we're putting this into that rotary lip seal, so I'll put a bit of oil on it. And that gets us to that stage, and now we can use our new lock nut that's got like a type of thread lock in here. Like that. And this should be done to about 300 Newton meters, which this gun is rated for about 320. What does it say here? Yeah, 340 Newton meters, but we just gun these. Right, that locks that up. Sorry about your ears. So that is fundamentally the coupling reassembled. Apart from, we need the new washer on the front here, seal, sorry, O-ring, like that. And then last but least, we put the control unit on with the new seal. That goes there like that. And then you just very carefully, you want to line these pins into the valve, and you can just feel them. As you slip it on, it just goes on nicely. Right. plug our pump in, which is here. Now that is ready to go back on the vehicle. So it's not particularly hard. So if you want to rebuild a coupling, that's roughly how we do it. We sell this complete rebuild kit on our website. It's like an hour's work, something like that. You'll spend longer taking the coupling out and putting it back on. So anyway, all the best.